Hi guys, Borgio here, bringing you another advanced solo guide for Everquest 2's Altar of Malice expansion, this time for Ossuary, Resonance of Malice. Starting to get towards the slightly more difficult zones now, although not overly difficult. This one just relies on scripts more than any of the other zones we've done in the past. So what you're going to want to do is clear as much of this trash as you want. You basically are going up one of the upstairs, as you can see to the right of the screen. There are downstairs down the sort of the corridors north and south. If you look at the mini-map, you can see there's corridors to the north and south, but there's also stairs in sort of the middle. You want to get up those stairs. Now, I wouldn't advise pulling all this trash like I did. The trash has a nasty habit of doing crazy... it's a knock. It's the knocks. You can see the uncurable knocks on me. Basically, although it's just disappeared there, it stacks with more packs that you pull and you take more and more damage. So pull safely, but go up the side of the stairs that you want to go up. I decided to do this on the Berserker today just to slow it down a bit and make sure you could actually see mechanics was the main reason. Looking back at it now, I realise I wasn't actually on my decent mount, which was fun. So I'm losing a few stats from that, but apart from that, it's still plenty doable. So we will crack on. The first boss has a script that needs to be followed. If you don't follow it, you will die, which is great. We like scripts like that. The second boss has a script, but you can burn through it. Third boss has a script, but you can burn through it. Fourth boss, I don't even think it has a script. Fifth boss has a script, but technically you can burn through it. So we will go through all the scripts as normal with everything that needs to be done. First boss is up these stairs. Clear this pack out. It's just to make it easier, because to be honest, you're going to end up pulling them probably anyway. Now, I've done a lot of reading on general chat, and a load of people seem to have issues with this first boss. His name is, or her name is, Praetor Ferris, and it's really quite simple. And I don't understand how people can get this have so many issues with this. So my in-combat run speed is 0 or something, I think. But there's Praetor Ferris. All you need to know: every 25%. He's going to port to either the north end of this room. I'm staring at one of the little alcoves. You can see the alcove along the balcony there. He's either going to port there, or he's going to port to the one on the south side. My best advice to this is face an alcove, tank him right in the middle here at the entranceway, and face an alcove. As his health approaches 75, 50 and 25, get ready. And when he disappears from in front of you, if he's not in the alcove you're staring at, he's in the one behind you. Turn around and run to it. Don't even need to sprint. So here we go, 73, he's not in that one. Turn around and run. I'm running with 0% run speed, guys. If you've got a merc, and particularly a tank merc, make sure to set them at this point when you reach in here to passive, so they will come back with you. Otherwise, they're going to stand there. The reason you need to run into the alcoves to meet up with him is he has cast a bone wall across the entranceway, as you would have seen there. You'll see it again at 50 if you missed it. If you are stood in front of that bone wall, i.e. in this area where we're stood now, you will die instantly. So you need to make sure you're stood behind it. Also, when you see the animation for it exploding outwards, you cannot run too early. If you run too early, the game says, yeah, you're in front of it, and you die. So you need to make sure it's definitely gone off and he starts moving again. So we've hit 50 here. Let's see where he goes. He goes behind me again. So we're going to run in. You can see the bone wall forming there. Just make sure you run through it and don't move early. So keep an eye on the bone wall. I'm trying to get a good angle here, but it's not great. There's a view on him, and he's moved. So we're going to move. Now, a lot of people ask, well, why can't you just burn this guy? Well, actually, if you take him past multiple thresholds, he will summon multiple walls, and they will explode outwards. To try and rectify this, I believe SOE put in a shield on him now when he erects a wall, which means he takes less damage. And I can't remember if it's 75% less damage or 95%. If you've got superb DPS, feel free to try a burn. I personally haven't, and would prefer not to, as I don't like dying instantly. But apart from that, this is the whole fight. When you get to the 25% point like we are now, and he erects the wall, just stay in here and kill him. And as you can see, I brought Stamper along, who decides to verdict. Always fun. Now, this is my personal opinion for how to get into this next area, but it's up to you. Now, I pull a lot of stuff here because I'm on the Zerk, but jump on the side, jump on this, and then jump down here. Aim for something. Normally, I'll jump down on the other side. So instead of this left-hand one, I'll jump on the right-hand one, because if you jump on this left-hand one, this is all the sorts of ads you get. And they're not nice, they're not fun, and they take a while to kill. So just deal with them the best you can. However, try not to go too close to the circle in the middle of this room. You can see it sort of on the floor at the top left of the screen now. That is where the next boss is, and he is patrolling around that area. His name is Elder Senestus Verish. It's fairly easy. If you've got high DPS, you'll burn him without even seeing a mechanic. If you have low DPS, you're going to see a mechanic a lot, but it's not hard. I have not done this solo without a merc, excuse me, but with a merc, it always does the same thing. What he likes to do is he will cast a spell called Persecute. When he starts casting Persecute, a teleport has actually happened, but if you're a melee, you may not notice it. What you need to do when he does it is run away from him. What will happen is your merc will be rooted in place by this spell that he casts, and you will need to joust away. I like to use the edges of the circular area as far enough. I think it's most likely not even 20 meters, but if you stay there while he's casting Persecute, you will take massive ticking damage. I mean, absolutely huge. It will definitely kill you. And it's always the mercenary that gets rooted. In a group setting, it can be any member of the group, but you're going to see it here. So you're going to see lots of Persecute. So we'll start fighting. All you do, joust away, wait for it to finish, he runs back to you, and you do some more damage. What I tended to notice when I was doing this the couple of times that I was getting footage was he liked to port me to the middle of the room, but it didn't happen a lot with my Zerk. When I was doing this with my Inquisitor, he was porting me to the middle, so it's fairly simple to see the teleport. I don't actually have Stamper attacking right now. I wonder if I'm going to sort that out. But I think he still puts him in the thing anyway. We shall find out. There's the teleport's normally quicker than this. I think it's probably because Stamper wasn't attacking, but he is now. So because he wasn't on the hate list, he wasn't. There we go. There was a small little teleport. So what you do, joust away. I come in just so you can see the black. That black goes on whoever's rooted. Don't stand near it. Stamper will take damage, but not a significant amount. Or your merc will take some damage, but it's not loads. So you can easily just leave them to it. The smoke disappears, and your merc should eventually, when they're not rooted, come back over. And then it just happens again. He'll decide to do Persecute, you run away, you run back, you hit me in the face, and that's it. Just don't stand in the Persecute or the rooted person. Dead simple, guys. So, with enough DPS, you can just blow them up in 1 or 2 hits. I've done it before. In fact, I do it quite often with my Warlock. After a few teleports, he gets bored, but just make sure you don't joust into any adds. That's the main important thing. Don't hit any adds. And that's it. Finish him off. Once he's dead, the way you want to be heading on the map is to the east. So we'll use the mini-map at the bottom. You go into the east, which is to the right. You may get disorientated during this fight, because obviously he likes to do teleports and all sorts of stuff. But just bear in mind which way you're going. There is a pack of trash of bugs on the floor here. I always pull them. You can probably get around them if you run sort of the other side of this thing, but I just kill them because they're in the way. The next boss is super close. It is literally, if you imagine this area is fairly symmetrical, you have the entranceway, you did some little stairs and a balcony, then this middle area, then there's another set of stairs. So the next boss is actually a treble fight, which is really quite cool in its mechanics, which is at the top of these stairs. I'm going to finish these bugs off first before we start going through it, so you can actually see the boss himself and his 2 adds. But it's a lot of fun. Again, this is one you can burn through if you've got loads and loads of DPS. So if you are one of those tier 1 DPS classes and you know you can one-shot some stuff, feel free to one-shot some stuff. When you come up these stairs, I would advise clearing the outskirts of this little room that you're in now. Reason being, one of the mechanics on the boss is a teleport, and you don't want to be pulling ads while you're fighting the boss, especially if you are squishy or have less DPS than a tier 1 or these heroic and raid geared players. These dungeons these guides aren't aimed at those raid gear and heroic geared players, guys. If you can clear this with no trouble, don't watch the video, that's fine. There's no point. This is to help out those guys that don't do heroics, that don't do the raids, and only have a chance at getting the solo gear. Is how they play the game, that's how they choose to do it. So what you want to do, avoid the eastern part of this room. You can see on the left hand side there, just really briefly, there was 3 mobs. That is the boss and his 2 adds. So you want to just clear out everything you can on this sort of outer edge first. The boss is now on the right hand side of the screen. They are called, and I'm going to butcher these probably, they're the Deathly Ushers. They're Achian, Paris and Ursha. Now, there is an order that you want to kill these in. Basically, I always say you want to kill Achian first. Achian has a tendency to teleport to a random point in the room and start casting Bone Spear. it hurts if he finishes that cast. So basically, kill Achian first. If he ports, make sure you interrupt. I would highly advise you find your interrupter now, guys. Every class has one, at least. And Bone Spear's cast is long enough that you will interrupt it. Now, I think I managed to keep him stifled, so when he ports, he can't cast Bone Spear, because you saw there, he ported, he came straight back. Paris will disappear at random points. Yeah. Like, he's gone now. I've never really noticed what happens when he reappears, but he disappears. Yep. So just carry on with Achian. There comes Paris. Now, I don't know what he's doing. Maybe if you've left ads, he pulls them because he ports them. I have no clue. But finish Achian and then do Paris. Interesting thing, Achian is considered a caster boss, if you know what I mean. So when you kill him, you get caster buffs. You actually gain 1,000 potency and 10,000 crit chance. This is to enable you to be able to crit with some big legendaries and mythical crits. Now I've actually got the buff on me, and I think I'm going to highlight it there for you. 1,000 potency, 10,000 crit. When you kill Paris, you get the crit bonus version. 1,000 crit bonus and another 10,000 crit. Paris doesn't do anything else apart from port around like a complete tool. Once they're dead, do Ursha. Ursha doesn't do anything. He does the little kick that you're seeing, and that's it. And I always find it's fun just to hit him at the end and try and get some big hits. But I'm on the Zerk, so I'm not going to get anything too big. There's a 5.9 myth crit. That's not bad. But that's it. So with enough DPS, you can literally one-shot these mobs. On my Warlock, I run up here with 180 increments and Toxic Assault on Achian, and he dies. Or I can AoE on them instead and take them all down together. But yeah, just do it the way you feel comfortable. I always found Ursha has a whole bunch of hit points towards the end, and that might be his mechanic. That's why you do Ursha last, is the fact that he has all these hit points you got to burn through. So you're going to need these myth crits, which don't go off all the time with 20,000 crit, just to make a note, but the legendary crits are fairly consistent. I should actually check my pass for just on his damage and see what sort of incoming it was, but yeah, Stamp of Bruising is worth once again. Next boss is literally 2 trash mobs away. Kill these 2 guys and you can see her already. I've got the quest for her down there, Priestess Kelania Dazil. She's, yeah, I've got no idea about this one. I sat there for a good 10 minutes letting her beat on my Inquisitor to try and figure out her mechanics, and the only thing I could come up with was she's a joke. She's basically tank and spank, guys. We'll get down there. Just pull her and hit her until she falls over. She does 2 things, okay? She does... Her first ability was called Preparation for Apocalypse. It's a curable trauma, which is... I think it's trauma with this really, really slow ticking damage. It's so stupidly curable. It's just... yeah. So cure it. Her next thing she does is Banshee Scream. Sounds really, really awful, especially if you maybe have the Preparation for Apocalypse on you. There, she landed it now. It doesn't do a lot. And there's Banshee Scream now. Like, oh, did you see the damage? Because I didn't. Basically, my Inquisitor took 23k damage from Banshee Scream. That's laughable. It really is such low damage. So just tank and spank her. She's nothing. She's just a hit point sponge, basically. The harder fight's coming up. The script fight. Now, this had a bit of figuring out, the last fight. I'm going to talk about it now while fighting this, because nothing else happens on this one. But the last fight took some working out, because it's changed a bit in recent patches, and a few patches have changed the way it works. So I had to do some more research on this, but I've figured it out now. So let's just finish this guy off, and then we'll go through it. In fact, while we're fighting the trash, I will go through it, because there's a bit more to it. The last boss, haha! The last boss is called, I'm going to butcher this one as well, Valdemus Videran. And he is he plays the organ, and he comes with a choir. And there's 4 little ads in his choir, each one named after a singing style type tenor, soprano, and all that good stuff. The way I found it works is, you can attack him, and every 20% he will teleport back to his organ and play his organ. Any ads that you've killed will be resurrected. If you haven't killed any ads, you'll gain a stack of a debuff, Concerto of Malice, I believe. Or Concerto of Malice is the damage that he's doing. Basically, if you don't kill ads and you just kill the names, like I'm demonstrating here, when he teleports to his organ, he will give you a debuff which doubles the damage on this damage buff he does. Okay, so I've gained it now. There it is, Tone of Pain. So it doubles the damage. I've now killed all of the ads, so what he's going to do is he's actually going to resurrect those ads when he goes to the organ at 60%. There it is, so they're up. So he plays the Tone of Revival, which reses them, but I haven't gained any additional stacks of the Tone of Malice. So, in my initial testing, I found that I could clear the Tone of Malice debuff by killing the ads and making sure they're dead at 40%. And he will go to the organ at 40 and res them, and I lose the debuff. And that happened both times with my ink and with this guy. So if you're having issues but trying to burn him and you find yourself dying, it's because the evil Concerto of Malice is hitting you for extra damage every time, okay? So you just need to make sure you kill off the ads. The safe way is kill the 4 ads, kill the names. Kill the 4 ads, kill the names. Now, I'm basically going on the names and AoEing as much as I can, and you know, seeing they're all dying to my AE. Bring Stamp for any verdicts. So that's it, guys. Just make sure you kill the ads if you're having issues, and then kill the names. And that's it for this instance, guys. Not super hard. As usual, guys, like, subscribe, comment on the video if you like what you saw. I'm Borgio, and I'll see you guys next time.